Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey, everybody, how we doing today? Thank you, Malika. How you doing, Mr. Malika? Peace and love, my good sister. Peace and love, my good brother as well. Thank you for kicking off the contributions for the show. I want to thank everybody that contributes monetarily to the show, both through Cash App and through Super Chat. I appreciate you greatly. And honestly, this cannot be done without you. So I greatly appreciate you. Let me do one more little piece of housekeeping. One more little piece of housekeeping. And then we're going to have a little bit of a talk. Okay. Okay. We are also going to have a show tomorrow because we didn't have one Monday. So let's have a show tomorrow as well. Same time, 5:30, but I know I don't usually do one on Saturday, but we're going to do one on Saturday. Thank you, baby. So my baby said hit the like button and subscribe as you come in because it's free. Subscribe to the membership for exclusive content and donate to the movement. Each donation keeps the channel growing and is appreciated. Definitely, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So I wanted to talk to y'all. I'm not going to do a full breakdown of the conversation between Shannon Sharp and Cheyenne Bryant. I'm not going to do a full breakdown of that conversation. It wasn't, honestly, it wasn't interesting enough. Even though some parts of it supposedly went viral, but it wasn't interesting enough for me to do a full breakdown of that. I'm going to play just a couple of little parts of it just so you can hear some of what I want you to hear. But today, I want to talk to you. And of course, we're going to use parts of that interview as a jumping point, but I'm not really here to talk about her or him. I'm here to talk about us as a group of people. Now, the other evening, I think it was a couple of days ago, I ended up briefly jumping on Hamp's panel because there was a conversation about an unqualified opinion, people's opinions being unqualified. And in a way, I wanted to take that concept and continue it because the unqualified opinion in general is one of the Achilles heels and kryptonites of the Black community and Black people in general. We don't move no further than where we have been because we are too emotional as a group. We like to say things like facts over feelings and act like we get into another understanding or a new understanding, but in reality, as a group, as a collective, we doing the same stuff we've been doing, and we are running in place for the most part. Individuals among us are doing better, doing something different, actually trying to make our way into a better space as a group of people. And when I say a better space, I mean a better thought pattern, a better mentality, a better all of that. Not just more money. In the social media space, which has blown up as a result of the pandemic, largely, there is a whole lot of unqualified opinions. Let me define what I mean by an unqualified opinion, because everybody can have an opinion. Everybody does have an opinion, whether we like those opinions or not. Liking an opinion, not liking an opinion, or people having opinions is not an issue. That's not necessarily the unqualified opinion is the opinion that is espoused from a position of either authority, a position of wisdom, a position of expertise, a position of knowledge, etc. But the person espousing that opinion has a very limited, if any, experience, knowledge, etc. of the subject that they have an opinion on. Put a 1 if you understood that definition. As I'm using unqualified opinion today, this is what I mean. An opinion that a person espouses, and they're doing so from a position of so-called either authority, from a position of wisdom, from a position of expertise, from a position of knowledge, etc. But that same individual has very limited, if any, experience, knowledge, or anything else that would give them or that would make their opinion more valid or more qualified than the average person. That's an unqualified opinion. Okay? Or even an underqualified opinion. You can have your opinions as long as you're not trying to position yourself as some type of authority on a particular subject. I have my opinion of the political landscape of America, both past and present. I have an opinion about that. But if we start talking about the ins and outs, the history, all of the political knowledge, when this law was passed, when that law was passed, I do not have that knowledge. So my opinion would then become unqualified if I were to try to position myself as some kind of political pundit or somebody who knows a lot about politics, but really, I don't really know about it. I just got a lot of opinions about it, but they aren't rooted in any particular knowledge. They're not necessarily rooted in facts all the way, or whatever the case may be. So I can't position myself as a person that knows what they're talking about when it comes to all the different politics, even though I don't really have that knowledge in my back pocket. And so any opinion that I have people can say yes or say no or agree or disagree. I may think I'm right, but it would be an unqualified opinion depending on how I'm trying to position it. Okay. Thank you. Terenzo said Black people need to realize opinions don't solve anything. Facts do. When an opinion solves a problem, it becomes a fact. This I'll argue to the death of me, and I don't even argue. Exactly. We gonna get into it today because we have to. And I'm gonna tell you where this is really coming from. Because I'm listening to us. I'm listening to us as a group. I'm listening to when we talk on panels. I'm listening to when we make videos and when we have other conversations and things of that nature from all of the different aspects that Black people want to have different conversations. And the one thing that I'm really noticing is that we love running in place, and we routinely mistake a lot of quote unquote work and movement to progress. And that's not the same thing. We like unqualified opinions. We say we don't, but we are historically a group of people that know the right thing to say and then will do the absolute opposite thing. We know what to say. We actually know what's right. And then we will, in our actual doing, will do the very opposite thing of what we know to be right. The only reason that I utilized Miss Cheyenne's picture is because she sort of represents to the unqualified opinion. She's quote unquote Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. We realize that's not quite true. And what makes her opinions unqualified, not all of her opinions are unqualified. When they become unqualified, when she starts talking about marriages, what makes good relationships work and what makes all those things work, but she don't have no working knowledge of being in a marriage. She don't have no working knowledge of that. And I know she don't have a working knowledge of it because she has never been married. So when you don't have a lived experience, when you don't have a working knowledge, then your opinion is extremely limited. And I'm finding that more and more of us are coming from this place of, I don't have a working, this is not my lived experience, but people are saying it kind of seemed that way. So I'm going to go with it. I'm seeing it a lot as it pertains to so-called relationships between men and women. And I'm going to tell y'all something. Nobody, the men or the women, know what they're talking about at this point. Neither the men nor the women. And I'm talking about the young ones that's dating 20-something, even 30-something. They don't know what they're talking about. when it comes to no relationship. And the reason I know they don't know what they're talking about when it comes to no relationship is because the vast majority of both the men and women have never been in a relationship. They have not been in a relationship. You and your situationship is not a relationship. You and the chicks you've been messing with, you kind of messed with them. You might have got a baby mama or two. That's not no relationship. That's not no real relationship. So you don't know what's supposed to go on between a man and a woman, and your experience up to this point is faulty and flawed, because how you even got into dealings with this woman was already on some flim flam or whatever it was based on. It wasn't really based on nothing. Now y'all just kind of live together. Now y'all just kind of be together. That ain't no relationship. Just like when I tell women, y'all ain't been in no relationship either. How do you know what the men do and what that little Negro been doing that you been messing with, and that one and this one and that one? That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. You cannot translate that experience into a healthy, functional marriage. You can't, because those two things don't even go together. Those two things don't even go together. No, they don't be in relationships. They be messing with people. That's the distinction that I'm making. They'll have sex. They'll have some sex. You know, I got this one and I be calling. I got that one I kind of like. You know, I kind of like that guy. I kind of like that chick. We hang. You know, but nothing is ever constructed. There's no actual structure to nothing. Nobody is saying, okay, this is what we gonna do. This how we gonna do it. Nobody. 90%. I'm going 90%. Of the younger generation now, the dateable, the age of the folks that's dating and carrying on right now, not like a good 90% of them ain't never been in no real relationship. They've been messing with folk. They've been laying with folk. They've been having sex with folk. Some of them been having babies with folk, but they ain't had no relationship. It's hard to think of it like that, but that's what it is. And as people talk, you start to realize that, oh, so you have not done this. You have not done anything. You ain't been with nobody for real. A lot of it is toxic. Walaikum salam, beautiful. There go my good sis right there. A lot of folk ain't never had no relationship, but they talk as if they have. I'm gonna let you hear this part of what she's saying. I'm gonna let you hear a little bit of Cheyenne. She's gonna start talking about like her father. She's not gonna make a specific point. I just want y'all to hear the thoughts. Just hear how the thought go. Just hear how the thought, and the mouth is going. She can talk. If I'm gonna handle that. Miss Bryant, Miss Cheyenne can talk. Miss Cheyenne can talk. Miss Cheyenne can talk. She can talk. But she got that talking down. She got that talking down. So I'm gonna just let you hear it. We ain't gonna show the whole thing. But I'm gonna let y'all hear her.
That we all have, but that makes me the most like my father. And yeah, we have a special bond. We really adore each other. And he dotes on me. He would tell me, "You the Kobe Bryant, you're the Michael Jordan of the women." And to all the fathers out there, that is so important.
Yes.
If you have daughters, you know, a woman is what her daddy makes her. Straight up, especially when it comes to men. And she can easily be manipulated if you're a man who doesn't input the things in her that allow her to see red flags. My father would have real one-on-one conversations with me. He talked to me like his baby, but he also would say, do X, Y, and Z. And it would be and I like that because he talked to me straight up.
Right.
And he would explain to me that, men use money to run power like this, or men may say these things that mean this. And so I had this open relationship where I was.
So you had the playbook.
I had the playbook. And I can come to him and say, "Dad, this is what's happening in my relationship. What does this mean?" Even if it was sexual. Now, if it was sexual, he loved Jack and Coke. He said, "Baby, let me get my Jack and my Coke before we have that conversation." But he was very open to those conversations. Right. But I want men to know that a woman is what her daddy makes her. And so it is your responsibility to build that woman up so that when she's out there, she has a realistic expectation of a man, not a fairy tale ideology. Because I ended up, to what you said earlier about, you're never going to have a man. I ended up with a fairy tale ideology that I had to work through and process and unpack, because I expected men to be this fairy tale that my father was. He was this knight shining armor. You call him, he's there. He bought me my first car. We're in Vegas, and he was a drug guy. So we're in Vegas and I'm 16. He's giving me thousands and thousands to gamble, to spend. And that was reality for that type of guy. But my dad also told me, if a man looks like me, smells like me, or acts like me, run. Do not bring him home and do not date him. So he never.
Now I'm going to pause it right there. She does have a point. And see, that's a part of what we as a community like about the unqualified opinion, or the people who talk well, who speak well. What we like is that not everything that they are saying is lies or foolishness. They've got a point, and then they go off the deep end from that point, right? Because a girl is, to a large extent, what her father makes her to be. To a large extent. A girl is a product of her dad. She's a product a lot of times of her dad. Just like the son be the product of the mama. So you have boys that have mother wounds, and then you have girls that have daddy issues and father wounds. A lot of it is what your dad told you. Because I am very much a product of a lot of the lessons, both good and bad, both intended and not intended, of my father. I'm very much a product of him. Very much. Because he was the one that told me, don't no man want no useless woman. Don't no man want no woman that can't do nothing. Don't no man want no woman that is like just a dead weight to that man. Don't no real man want no woman like that. Right? And on top of that, my dad too was a street dude. He never glorified that stuff to us. He never said, this is the way that you supposed to live. He always said, I do what I do because I don't really have an education, but I got skills. And I utilize them because that's how I eat. And that's how y'all eat. Okay? So my dad was real honest and to a large degree transparent to us. And so my dad, when he would talk to me about things, what he imparted stuck. So like my dad never gave me princess treatment. He treated me well for the most part. You know, we had a lot of ups and downs and like as a family because there was a lot of domestic violence in my home. But generally speaking, in an overall manner, like my father treated us well. Like I knew my dad loved me. I knew, you know what I'm saying, and things of that nature, right? So, but he didn't give me princess treatment. When I say princess treatment, my dad wasn't like, oh, you're a girl, so you can't do XYZ. You a girl, so you shouldn't be doing. My dad did not believe in that. He didn't. Being a girl was what? What that mean to him? That didn't mean a whole lot to him. So he didn't coddle me, is what I mean by that. He didn't give me princess treatment. He didn't coddle me based on me being a girl. And I was daddy's little girl. I was definitely a daddy's girl. Like, you know what I'm saying? Daddy gonna hug you and kiss you and all that kind of stuff. But he would not coddle. He would not coddle. He did. I'm gonna watch him put this tie on. I'm gonna watch him change the oil. I'm gonna watch him change that carburetor back when cars had carburetors. I'm gonna watch him change that alternator. I'm gonna watch him drop this engine. I'm gonna watch him fix this trans. Now that don't mean I learned how to do all of that, but he definitely had me right there. Pass me that tool. You know what kind of wrench that is? Give me the 3/16 socket. Look, read it. It's in the toolbox. Look at it. Right? So me being a girl, and I'm not going to center it on me, but I'm relating to what she said about her dad and you being, as a girl, the product of your dad. Okay? Because that was one of the things he taught me. He was like, the world don't care that you're a girl. The world don't care nothing about that. You're going to have it hard in certain instances because you're a girl. Because you're a woman. You will be underestimated and you will be, you know what I'm saying? Like there'll be times where you just won't be accounted for basically. But no daughter of mine is going to be in a world where she can't function. And I don't raise fools. So you're not going to be running around here, la, 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 because you're a girl. We're not doing it. So I was behind the wheel of a car at 6. Yep. I watched him on cars and I got in. I remember we had a little Toyota. Little bitty little Toyota. I don't remember what it was, but I remember it was a Toyota. At 6 years old, I climbed in that thing and I had done watched him. You know how you used to have to pat it to start it sometime when you didn't want to start? And I got in there, I rested my foot down, and then next thing you know, he looked around. I had the car started and had them put it in gear. Know what he did? Cause I started it and I can't hardly see. Cause I gotta go down to put my feet on the gas. I figured out which one was the gas and I pressed it. Then I went, and then it started going. I said, ooh. And then I like froze, and then I managed to hit the brake. Know what he did? He laughed. He said, there you go. There you go, Ken. There you go. Okay. Look at her. She ain't scared. We gonna teach you how to drive now. No coddling. I'm definitely a product of my dad. I'm my father's daughter. in a lot of ways. It came out masculine in a lot of different aspects as well. I'm not going to lie to you. It came out masculine. And when I say masculine, it came out to, I just wasn't scared to do stuff myself. I was not waiting on nobody to do it, things for me. I was just taught by my dad, it's better that you know how to do it yourself. It's better that you do things yourself. Just do them. Stop being scared. Don't be scared of everything. Things, do what you tell them to do. As long as you ain't scared, you can do it. So I agree with her there. We're going to let her talk some more.
Glamorized being a womanizer. He never glamorized having 6x5 women. He told me, this is what daddy did, but I don't want this for you. And there's too many men who do those things. And because they are too egocentric, right, versus caring about their daughters, that they would glamorize their behavior so their daughters won't look at them in a certain way. But you are tearing her up because now she thinks that the right chosen person looks and acts like you. So when she brings you home, that's your problem. But my father told me from the beginning, it's a hard no. And when I did attempt to date, because I really never dated street guys, probably because he raised me like that. Right. I dated more like athletes when I was in like a college athlete or some of that sort, or just a really good boy next door.
God, we go ahead. Go ahead. I'm just.
See, I told y'all he not messy, but he crafty. I told y'all that. See. But when I first tried to date my first little street guy, my dad didn't even. He said, "Let me see a picture." He said, "What do you do?" I said, "He does real estate." He said, just like he said, "That don't do real estate." I said, He don't. And my dad called me every day. I'm not lying, for 7 days to tell me to get rid of that man because one of them going to end up dead or in jail. So guess what?
You got rid of him.
The right thing to do.
Yeah. You said your dad said that if he ever got married, the wife would become before the kids.
He said the opposite.
The kids come first?
And I disagreed with him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I disagreed.
Absolutely.
We had literally almost a 2-hour debate. Me and my father would debate a lot.
I'm going to cut it a little bit. As long as she just talking about her experiences, as long as she's just talking about her experiences, that was her personal experience with her father, right? None of us was there to say whether or not she had those experiences with him and conversations with him or not. That's not her unqualified opinion. That, you know what I mean? But I will point out something that she said. As she was talking about the things that her father imparted to her, and this is what I always have questions about. When these women talk about their fathers and they have fathers in their lives, if your father was being real with you, how did you end up with a fantastical version of what you thought a man was? I'm sorry. How did you end up with a fantastical, unrealistic version of, or concept or idea of a man? That's the question that burns with me. Because again, if your dad was being real with you, and I'm not saying he wasn't, but I'm saying, where did the disconnect come in at? Because if he's being a real dude and he having real talk with you, how did you end up thinking that men are supposed to be these knights in shining armor and this, that, and the third? And how you end up with a faulty vision of a man? Because my daddy was real with me. My daddy was real with me. He talked a lot of real talk with me. Okay? About men. and about what kind of women real men liked and wanted and you know, wanted around them. Okay. And never in any of that did I get the message that men were supposed to be this, I don't know, perfect, I don't know. She said knight in shining armor, and every time you call them that they're gonna be there, and the only men that you call and they're gonna be there are men that want to do that with you. Okay. So the things that he was telling me didn't make me think anything extraordinary about men. I started looking for my dad, but not so much in the things that he was doing or whatever. The things that I picked out from my father, I picked out or I focused on the level of masculinity that I saw in my dad. My dad was just a no-nonsense kind of guy. He'll laugh and joke with you, and he had a terrific sense of humor. Okay? He was silly, but he wasn't goofy, and you wasn't going to play him, and you wasn't going to talk crazy to him or none of that. He wasn't going to let you slide with no foolishness or none of that. You was going to watch what you say to him. That's what I took from my dad. I took from my dad that the kind of man that I wanted to marry was like him in the sense that my father could always command respect from men in any room and in any circumstance. And I don't care if they thought he was poor or undereducated or any of that. And he was. My father was poor. My father was undereducated. He was. But that did not stop the aura of masculinity and the energy of masculinity that was just a part of him. When he walked into a room, I don't care what kind of money you had or what kind of educational status you had, you were going to respect him. And not because he threatened you, but because you was just going to do it. I have watched my father move in a room full of millionaires without a dollar in his pocket. And they were paying rapt attention to everything that he was saying. Every word fell out his mouth. That's what I took. So I don't even like men that don't move like that. A product of my dad. Because in my eyes, the money didn't have nothing to do with it. Because sometimes my daddy would have a fat pocket full of money, and sometimes he wouldn't. And the energy was the same. That's why, that's where I get it from, where when I see men move like men, money ain't got nothing to do with that. Money doesn't have anything to do with that. A man gonna move like a man regardless. That's where I learned that. Just observing my father. My older brother had that same quality. He do the same thing. And my older brother showed me you ain't never gotta be a street dude to do it either. It wasn't even a street dude quality that was doing it. My brother was never a street man, not a day in his life. But when he walk in any room, I don't care who's in that room, he gonna command the respect of the men in that room without question. My husband is the same. Don't care who's in the room. When he go in that room, he gonna command the respect of the men in that room. And it's not even gonna be something you gotta think about. It's just gonna be what it is. It's just gonna be what it is. It just is. It just is. Money don't got nothing to do with that. Cars don't got nothing to do with that. Nothing has nothing to do with that. That's just who that man is. So we observe it. I'm trying to figure out where did the miscommunication of a man has got to be this fairy tale version of a man. Why did she exclude the realistic portions and aspects of man to come up with a fantastical? And I'm gonna tell you this much: it's buying into that feminism that did it. Buying into that feminism did that. She bought into feminism. Because where else do you get this formula, this idea? Let's go to a commercial break because I want to get into another part of this as well. We're going to come off of her. But after these messages, we'll be right back because you can still go to ashkicking.com. The link is pinned to the top of the chat and get yourself or your friends and family a wonderful gift for the holidays and even beyond the holidays as well. To keep your skin looking and feeling, smelling its absolute best, you're going to need this body butter as well as the other high quality personal care products on this line. ashkicking.com. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. If it's going to be your first order, please take advantage of the 10% discount using the promo code Crimson at checkout. Okay. Oh, you guys are bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button. Bam, bam. You got to go ahead and hit the like button. Thank you. Grease Man said, keep cooking, my sister. The lioness you showed a few days ago and popped the balloon was refreshing. Thanks, and you are welcome. Thank you. Antonio said, Kendra, my fellow Illinoisan, it's been a minute, just dropping a line, showing some love. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And of course, I appreciate Mighty R1000 for the 20 spot and the generous contribution. Thank you so much. And thank you, Thanos. Say, hey, sis. Hey, how you doing, good brother? I appreciate you. Appreciate everybody's contribution. Definitely, definitely. Okay, so we're going to move a little bit off of Miss Cheyenne because I told you I'm not going to do a full breakdown of her. It's just not that interesting. But what is interesting is we're going to explore as Black people why we like the unqualified opinion so much. Number one, the unqualified opinion is emotional and therefore it is slippery. So it allows the goalposts to move at will. If we can accept underqualified and unqualified opinions as the truth, as long as it aligns with me emotionally, long as it aligns with my feelings, as long as it aligns with my current way of thinking, as long as it aligns with my current way of seeing things, my current way of being something, then I'm going to go with the unqualified opinion. It relieves me of having to have discernment. I don't have to have a standard. See, the reason why we like it, that emotionality, is because it can be this way or that way. Exactly. See, as a community, we get got, and in 2025, we still will talk about what the quote unquote white supremacy and all that kind of stuff do to us. The reason why it's still even able to negatively affect us to the degree that it does, even in 2025, is because we so emotional about everything that we can get whipped up or we can get simmered down at their will and whim because they already know how to play us emotionally like a fiddle. We also dislike when there are those of us who don't want to be emotional like that. We will get mad at the minority of us that don't go for it and that be trying to tell the rest of us, hey, don't let them play you like that. They playing in your face at this point. This is why Kamala thought, as a Democrat, that she could run purely on the campaign of baby deletions and getting Black women's emotions all whipped up into falsehoods and into unqualified things. And it worked. Because the majority of Black women that voted for her still. So it worked. The majority of Black men that voted for her still. Completely against your interests. And I'm not going to make this political, but that was just an example. Her whole campaign, she played word salad. People forgot that part. The word salad, the inability to answer straight questions. Having entertainers come up there and dance and sing instead of talking about policies. This is why Trump won. Whether you like Trump, don't like Trump, never trusted him, always thought he was going to do something stupid. I knew he was going to be stupid too. But I also knew he was going to win. And the reason he was going to win is because he was going to get up there and say something, whether you like what he said or not. You ain't got to like what he said. He don't care if you like what he said. He going to get up there and say whatever he wanted to say. Whether it was a lie, truth, a half lie, a half a truth, or whatever. That's why I said he was gonna win. Folks thought all you know what I'm saying, you voting for Trump and you like him. I just knew he was gonna win. I just knew he was gonna win. Now, no use in fighting it. For several reasons, he won. For several reasons. He won for several reasons. Right. When he got in there and served some McDonald's, he went old school politician to him. That was like kissing babies. He went old school politician. A big old rich white man, he ain't never got to touch no burger. Talking about. And he went on and put that little McDonald's thing in and served the burger. Man, that was done for. He went 80s with that one. It worked though. Right, he did the garbage truck thing. I'm gonna drive the garbage truck, trying to relate to the everyday working class, blah, 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 blah. It worked. The other reason why the black community loves the unqualified opinion is because emotionality and feelings are devoid of facts and uncomfortable truths. And this allows us to remain mentally, spiritually, and emotionally in the same place with comfort. No need to work or change. I ran up on this. And when I saw this, I immediately thought of black people. It says, when a person with a victim mindset is presented with a choice that can change their lives, they almost always choose the option that preserves their identity as a victim. Let's read that again. When a person with a victim mindset is presented with a choice that can change their life, they almost always choose the option that preserves their identity as a victim. That's black people every day. Every day, all day. That's black people every day, all day. Except a few of us. There are individuals of us that don't do that. But for the majority, as a collective group, that's our jam, baby. And you can hear it on every panel, no matter the subject matter. No matter the subject matter, specifically when we start talking about solutions, when we start talking about how to fix it, what it's going to take to fix it, we don't like that. There is a formula for success for everything. And it is not tailored to you. It's not going to tailor itself to how you think the formula go. The formulas for success for things are what they are. You conform or don't have the success. You conform or don't have the success. Because whenever we start on these panels and things, talking about solutions, nobody wants the accountability. The men don't want the accountability because there are perfect reasons why. Well, it wasn't our fault. Why we got to do this? Why we got to do that? I'm not in the hood doing blah, 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 blah. So why should I? The women don't want the accountability. Well, it's not our fault. The men, it's supposed to be the leaders and why we got to do it. And, we're not able to do it. And why we can't. Everybody want to pass the buck. That's why we can't get nowhere. Because nobody want to take up the actual mantle of doing any of the work, not even the mental, internal, spiritual work that it takes. Before we even get to the practical, pragmatic 1, 2, 3, this is how you help, blah, blah, blah. before we even get to the 1, 2, 3 ABC, we don't even like the internal change that have to happen. We don't like that. Because when we get to talking about the internal change, everybody la 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 la. That's what everybody do. Soon as we say you gotta change you gotta change you. You cannot do what you want to do, how you want to do it. No, you cannot. No. It's rules and regulations. There's rules and regulations for stuff. And don't nobody like no rules, and don't nobody like no regulations, which is why we ain't gonna never get out of nothing, because the first set of rules and regulations that we quick to disregard is Allah's rules and regulations. I went there. The Most High's rules and regulations, them the first ones to go in the garbage. Huh? Them the first ones to go in the garbage. We ain't got to do stuff how God said do it. We ain't got to think about life the way God say think about it. We ain't got to approach our business, our home, our marriage, our parenting, we ain't got to approach that stuff the way God say approach it. I think I can reach success by doing things the way I want to do things. Forget what a God of an old book got to say. Forget all of that. Them books is old and played out. Black people don't think it's no rules to nothing. We think we can do how we want to do, what we want to do, and we supposed to get the outcomes that we see other people getting, and then get mad when the outcomes don't happen. When we, for example, folks want to be rich, right? Folks want money. They want wealth. They want financial freedom, right? Yes or no? For the most part, for the vast majority, most people would love to be able to have a lot of disposable income. They don't want to have to worry about bills. They don't want to have to worry about a paycheck, living paycheck to paycheck, this, that, and the third. Most people don't want to have to think about that. So now there is a formula for becoming wealthy. Everybody asks wealthy people how they did it, especially people who don't come from wealth. If they came from poverty and got wealth, people ask, what did they do? And you may not be able to do the exact thing. Maybe you don't want to go into the industry that them people get, but there's a common theme among all of them, from the ones that come from money and the ones that don't. Common themes. One of the common themes that they have is everybody that have wealth and things of that nature wake up early in the morning. Don't none of them sleep till 1 o'clock. Every wealthy person you ever talk to, read a book, read something that they wrote, listen to them, give a speech about it. Listen, every time When folks ask them, how did you do? You know, what were you doing? One of the first things they say, I get up early in the morning. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. My day start early. My day start early. You know, I get up. And the first thing they'll tell you they do when they get up is some type of prayer or meditation. Some type of prayer or meditation that they start doing. Early in the morning, they get up. And they either praying or they doing some type of meditative something to get their mind right, to get their mind and energy in a positive, correct space so that they can do what they got to do the rest of the day. The second thing that the vast majority of them talk about that they're going to do after they do the meditation stuff, they go work out. The first two things, in order for wealth to attain, they do number 1 and 2. First thing when they get up every day, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Spiritual health. Get up. They do whatever they do spiritually, you know, whatever. Some folks pray, some whatever. And then they go do some working out. A walk, a jog, a gym, or something. And then after they do that, then they go into pay some attention to their family. Give their family a moment. Eat some breakfast or something. You know, look after their family, make sure the day is starting correctly. After that, make sure I'm dressed properly for the day. You know, whether I need a suit, whether I need whatever I need, make sure I got that. I make sure my home is in order. It's clean. It's orderly. Nobody's in a nasty space. This is what I've heard. Nobody's in a dirty space. Energy don't move good in dirty spaces. No dirty spaces. Whether they do it, whether they have a maid that do it, whether they got a wife that do it, it don't matter who do it. It matters if it's done. And then they go to work. Then they start working. Whatever it is. And above all, they have a plan every day. Every day, a plan that aligns with the actual goal that they set for themselves. People who never achieve any form of success in their life to doing anything. You ain't got to be rich, but any success, any successful thing, if you never achieved anything, that means you've never done none of that stuff. And if you've never done any of that stuff, why would you expect achievement? Why would you expect success in something? Why would you expect that? Why do you expect success when you have made no plan? What is that old adage? When you fail to plan, you have planned to fail. That is anything. That's everything in your life. That's everything in your life. If you have failed to plan, then you have planned to fail. This why ain't nobody got no success now. You can't have a successful relationship because you don't plan one. You don't plan on it. You don't plan that. You plan success? How? When? What'd you do? You don't have success in your business because did you plan it? That's why they come up with a business plan. Folks won't even talk to you if you ain't got no business plan. Huh? You cannot raise capital. You can't do nothing. You done thought about, oh, I want to run a business. You can't go get a loan. You can't go get an investment. You can't borrow. You can't even get a good GoFundMe started without a plan. How this business gonna run? Well, I ain't really think about that. So you didn't think about it. Get out of my face. You don't want no business. You just like the idea about it. Bye. You ain't ready to do no work. And Black folks is not ready to do no work. We don't want to do no work. We don't want to do no work. We don't like work. We like the work that ain't really work. And we like lip service. We like talking about work. That's why we be in 2025, we still get gat as a people. Still talking about what this system done did to us and what it currently do and all of this kind of stuff. The reason why we're still so subject to it is because we have not done any real work. We want somebody else to do it. We don't even so much as want to control our own thoughts about things. Make sure we thinking properly and not just letting every thought come into our mind, take root in our mind. We don't like no work. This is why God always had to whoop you. Read your Bible. Read your Quran. That's why he always got to whoop you. You're hard-headed and you goes back to foolishness. God told us how to operate in order to have prosperity in our lives and have good in our lives and have abundance in our lives. And we do not do it. The reason God wake us up and tell us to pray as soon as we get up is to get your mind right. Get your spirit right. Don't get up and start doing foolishness as soon as your feet hit the floor. The first things that should be crossing your mind is gratitude to God for even waking you up and giving you a day that you can do what you're doing in it. How many of us waste our days? Just they go to waste. Even when we go to work, wasted. Them ain't the only people that waste their days. Folks that ain't got nothing to do and don't go to work and don't get no money. Them not the only people that waste days. It's plenty folk that hit 9 to 5 every day and waste their time all the time. Told us what to focus on. We won't focus on it. Mad. We get mad. This is the main reason why Black people cannot recover our relationships and our families and our communities, is because we decided that God didn't have nothing to do with it. We don't want him involved, and we want to do how we want to do. And as long as we keep on doing that, it's going to always be fractured, because people are going to do what they want to do. That's why most folk can't find good men and can't find good women. It's not that they don't exist, but how you gonna get something good and you ain't good? How? What's good? What's good? Going to God to get good, to let God tell you what's good, so you can be good, so you can have good. God ain't about to send you now one of his now one of his women and now one of his men, long as you ain't right. If you're not one of his, you're not worthy of one of his. How about that? And in this day and age, that's what you need to be. One of his, so he can give you one of his. What you need with a good woman or man? What you need with one? Need one of them for what? To do what? Sir, ma'am? Because you don't know what you're doing. The unrighteous women and men are for each other. Remember that. The unrighteous men and women are for each other. God is not about to give no unrighteous hyena a God-fearing man. You don't fear God. Why would he give you one of his that fear God? Same with the men. What you want with a woman that's righteous and you ain't righteous? You want her righteous. You don't obey. You don't obey. You don't obey. She's supposed to obey you. You don't obey God. You're disobedient. So he'll give you a disobedient one. He gonna give you one that don't do what you say, because you don't do what he say. Give you an obedient one for what? So you can run in the ground? No. Again, same thing with the women. You're rebellious and you hate leadership. Why would I give you a man with righteous leadership? Girl, if you don't go over there and get another one of them that's just as rebellious as you are, so y'all can be rebellious together. The only reason we won't come together in matrimony and relationship is because it's a gang of them. It's a gang of folk that know they not nothing, and the others, they counterpart ain't nothing, and they trying to avoid one another. Know about being with you. Exactly. Because you know it's about to go to hell in a handbasket, don't you? Exactly. My baby said the women say the same thing to men that the men say to God. They say he don't do nothing. They can do it themselves. They don't need him, etc. Same rhetoric. It's the same thing. That's why God got y'all sitting there looking at each other like that Spider-Man. Man, she won't listen to me. When the last time you listened to anything God had to say? He don't be leading. When the last time you followed well? When the last time you followed righteous advice and a righteous way? When the last time you did that? That's why the women's kids do to them what they do to the men. The kids don't follow them like they don't follow the men, and the men don't follow God like the women don't follow them. You see how it all broke down? Nobody is following who they supposed to be following. Nobody is submitting to the hierarchy that's supposed to be submitted to, because don't nobody want to submit to the Most High. Nobody wants to do that part. That's the part. The kids is rebellious. They don't do nothing that the mama says. She's supposed to be over the kids. They runs her and whoops her and tell her what's what. Then she want the kids to do what she said, but she don't do nothing no man said. She don't do nothing her husband said. She don't do nothing nobody tell her to do. She running around just foolish and doing whatever, however, whenever. Think she right, can't nobody tell her nothing, and all that kind of stuff. She just as rebellious as the children are. And then the man, he want her to follow, but she don't do nothing he said, because he told God to kiss his soda cracker and his accabacker. I don't really do that God thing. I don't really, I feel like I could do. Okay, fine. You do how you want to do, right? Okay. So now you got a woman that do how she want to do. It's frustrating, ain't it? It's frustrating, ain't it? It make you mad, don't it? That you tell her something that you know is right. You know you done told her right, and she's turn around and spit in your face and do something else. You'll be wanting to Bart Simpson choke her. How you think God feels? Everybody want to receive what they are unwilling to give. You want to receive respect. You want to receive care and love and honor, and integrity and dignity, but you don't give it. And you don't think God just shake his head too? I told these idiots to do that. How many times I got to tell them that? How many prophets I send? How many books I send? How many examples did I make past and present? How many examples did I make in their own life, in their personal experiences? How many times I got to teach them this lesson? You wonder why you stay stuck in the same routine because you ain't learned no lesson. Whatever God we're trying to teach you, you won't do it. Or you do it sometime. You do it halfway. And then when you get tired of doing it, then you tired of doing it. And then that's why you keep on getting back in that same pot. What you learn? Nothing. Go back over there. You can't get out of the pot because you won't stop being in the pot. I get you out of the pot when you learn to stop going over to the pot and jumping into it. I keep telling you, stop doing that. But you won't stop doing it because if you like the pot, don't you, until it get hot. You like the pot till it get hot. Then you want me to come get you. No, Lord, I'm so tired. Help me on now. Whatever. Because you think you can play in God's face. Ain't nobody playing but you. Ain't nobody playing but you. And only one you playing is you. We don't go nowhere because we think we can play. We think we can play. And folks got the audacity to be calling themselves. Some black folk got the real audacity to be calling themselves waiting on Jesus to come back. Y'all not gonna like it when he come back. Didn't I tell y'all a few live streams ago he was the crash out prophet? That's God's crash out. You think Jesus is finna come down here, and Muslims believe Jesus finna come back too. Christians not the only one think that. The Muslims believe that. Muslims believe that Isa alayhi salam is going to come back to this earth. We also believe that will not be a peaceful time. That is not a time of peace. Y'all think he gonna be smiling and talking? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not going to kumbaya with y'all. Because if you ain't all the way right, you finna be all the way left. And he is not going to be trying to figure out what. Nope. You either here or there. Here or there. Here or there. Y'all think Jesus finna come back here? Folks gonna be very surprised. I don't know why, but you're gonna be surprised. What's good, Uncle Rick? How you doing? It's somebody else I seen that I wanted to talk to. It was Philip. I can't find your post no more, but Philip, how you doing, Philip? It's been a little minute. Yeah, so anybody still in that delusion? So Cesare Borgia that y'all got up in them churches and whatnot, you know, all in them books or wherever you think you got him at. That is not who will be returning. That is not him. So that's number one. He will not be Cesare Borgia. And you're not gonna like nothing that he got to say unless you falling on the right side of things. And even then, you better stay right. Stay right. Stay right and stay tight. I told y'all it's not gonna be a time of peace at all. That's gonna be a great time of tumult. Let's see who I got. Thank you, Justin. Say Ecclesiasticus 26 and 23. Thank you so much. And thank you, Eugene. Said we kept breaking God's commandments. Definitely. Did I say to Charles? Thank you, Charles, for your contribution. I greatly appreciate it. I don't know if I said that or not, but here goes. Thank you. I just wanted to just talk to y'all about that because I thought that this needed to be talked about. Absolutely. Absolutely. Most of these people are lining up according to what God said they was going to do, consciously or unconsciously. If we don't see the teams forming up, I don't know what to tell nobody at this point. But before we go, So please go to crimsoncure.com, pick up your copy of Reclaiming the Black Feminine, Lies of Feminism and the Road to Recovery, always on sale. I want to thank you all for joining me for today's talk. Once again, we're going to have a show tomorrow as well. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.